Hello again, folks. This is Barry with Barry's 8-Track and Classic Car Radio Repair, and today's feature is yet another one of my. This is my own little development. Mine is the world's only shop that offers this level of conversion. This is a Delco full system conversion, as I call it, and it involves naturally converting the radio to modern electronics. If it was only AM, then it will have FM. It'll power up to 4 speakers with a total of 180 watts available output power. And just to give you a quick rundown of what I do on these on this particular type of conversion. Now this is at the customer's request. This is a master in-out box that I offer. If there's not a lot of room in the back, or if he wants to have his input and output jacks, closer, easier to access. A quick basic rundown. I don't have this box labeled yet because that's something I do at the desk when I'm filling out the customer's paperwork. But this is your front left and right preamp outs, your rear left and right preamp outs. This is your subwoofer preamp out, and then this is your line input jacks right here, for your aux input. And then we'll go to the radio unit. The original connectors are removed, and it's replaced by you just have this 12-wire harness here that comes out, and that connects to your speakers, up to 4 speakers, your power ground, power antenna, all that stuff. And then and then the radio just plugs into the 8-track player with these 3 RCA jacks here. There's just an RCA cable now running from the radio to the 8-track player. The red and white ones are for the signal, and the yellow one is for a control voltage that forces the radio into aux mode, so that when you're using the 8-track and you pull the tape out, you don't have that 20-second delay that's imposed by the signal sensing feature of the aux mode. And now when you plug an aux signal into this box here, and you're not using the 8-track, then there is a 20-second delay after you remove the signal from this aux input, and that's because of a Vox circuit that's designed to hold on to the signal a little bit longer than it needs to keep the radio from constantly switching back and forth between songs or during quieter music passages. So, with all that cool stuff being laid down, I'm just going to hook this thing up real quick, connect it up, connect the whole system up. We got our antenna going into the radio here. And then we've got our little 12-pin connector that the other end of this plugs is what you wire into your car. And of course I have my bench speakers and everything wired to a similar connector. So this is just like we're plugging it into our car under the dash. And so now we've got our radio and our 8-track. Nope, we don't have our RCA plugs hooked up. So let's go ahead and connect those really quick, and then we can fire this puppy up and run it through its paces. It's very, very important to get the red, white, and yellow jacks in their proper connectors. The connectors will also be colored. It's very, very important not to mix these up, because otherwise you can send 12 volts into your auxiliary input and blow your conversion out and have to send it back and pay for another board. Alrighty, so now this system is all plugged in and set up and ready to go. And the only other thing I'll say is that I'm currently troubleshooting a problem in my recording system, my audio recording system. You might hear either the right front or the right rear channel cut out or distort from time to time, and I'm trying to determine whether it's my microphone or one of the many pieces of equipment in my recording system. So if you hear something sounding kind of weird on the right hand side, it's not the equipment, it's in my recording system, and I'm currently troubleshooting it. So let's go ahead and turn this radio on. I got it set to FM at the moment, I think.
Rocks Holbrook.
And as you can see, we've preserved our FM stereo indicator. It'll only light when there's a stereo FM station being received.
Zero Res uses
Not going to be retired for very long unless you got really lucky and you lived to 72.
You're waiting for your return.
More to love every day.
And as you can see, we're picking up just a boatload of FM stations here.
The employee said, well, he now...
Other people's money. A perfect.
Now this radio already was AM FM, and the conversion just makes it a lot more powerful. It improves the reception. And let's go ahead and demonstrate our virtual balance and fader functions. I prefer not to use the original fader control if the radio has one, because fader controls are constructed differently than the regular carbon type volume and tone controls, and a lot of them don't work anymore, and they are subject to breakdown. So I prefer not to even use that, because you can now use your tone control to adjust your front rear fading action. So let's tune to something that has a little bit more activity, a little more lively music. That's a little better. This will work just for this. I'm going to demonstrate, I'm going to bring our output level meters into the picture so that we can see the results of our adjustments. There's our meters. And you can see we've got output on all 4 speakers. Now I'm going to activate the front rear fader using the tone control. I'm going to rotate my tone control to roughly the center position, so we've got room to rotate it in either direction. We're going to give our tone control 2 quick turns to the right, each time returning it to center. When you successfully activate the function, you'll hear 4 beeps through the speakers, and after those beeps, you can use that tone control to adjust your front rear fader. So here we go. There's our 4 beeps. Okay, and now this tone control is adjusting the front to rear fading action. And I'm going to leave it on each setting for a few seconds so that I can try to troubleshoot my recording system when I play this DVD back. Okay, now I'm going to take my hand off the control and let it time out. It times out, there's the 1 beep, and now this tone control is once again just adjusting the tone. So now we're going to activate the left-right balance control. Same procedure, except we rotate the control twice to the left. So here we go. There's our beeps. Okay, and now the tone control is adjusting our left-right balance. Okay, I'm going to stop adjusting it, let it time out. We'll hear 1 beep. There's our 1 beep, and now the tone control is adjusting our tone again. Okay, let's switch it over to AM real quick, just to test that function.
The population of that town.
And then now we can get back to our unit. And we'll make sure the dial light works. You can see the dial light lighting up, blinking on and off. Okay, we got 1 more good AM station coming up pretty soon here. There we are. There's our other good station. That's the station that my brother talks on. He's not on there right now. Okay, let's go back to FM just for fun. Okay, and now the highlight of the show, something that I brag about quite a bit, is the way that I make the 8-track sound. The 8-track in this full system conversion is also gutted, and I replaced the existing preamp with my own hand-built preamp, which is designed to restore the high frequencies that are lost when these tapes get old. So we're going to pop in a little Tim Weisberg, and you'll see how bright. And keep in mind that I can actually make it sound a lot brighter and more trebly, but there comes a time when it's just too much. So I think I've got it set to a pretty nice balance between having enough bass left but still bringing out the treble. So here we go. As you can see, that's got plenty of treble. We'll switch tracks. And if that's too tinny, like if it's a tape that's not too worn, all you gotta do is just turn the tone control down at the radio. The controls on the 8-track no longer do anything. Everything's done from the radio now, except the track change function. So you can see that's a nice, bright, crisp sounding 8-track player after I get done with it. And again, I'm the only person in the world who offers this level of conversion on a full Delco system. Okay, now we're going to pull our tape out, and the radio should immediately come back by itself. And there's our radio. Okay, so that's that pretty much wraps up the testing procedure. Everything is in wonderful working order, naturally. And so on that happy note, I'm just going to go ahead and get my butt out of here so I can listen back to this DVD before I stick it up on YouTube and send it to the customer and see if I can determine whether my problem is in one of the microphones or in my in part of my equipment. So we'll just go back to me if I can find myself. This is Barry with Barry's 8-Track and Classic Car Radio Repair, and you're probably sick of hearing this, but if you have an 8-track player in need of service or a classic car AM radio you would like to add FM to with the additional possibilities of USB, Bluetooth, and line-in and all that cool stuff, you can reach me directly at 928-533-9666. My website is in the description below, and thank you very much for watching and listening. We'll see you next time.
Having fun, driving my classic ride. Got a Mustang, buddy, it's a 69, but she ain't sounding so fine. Driving this car, I can't hear the guitar, and all my tapes run slow too. Radio smoking, 8-track deck's broken. What can I do? Send it to 8-track repair center. 8-track repair center. 8-track repair center.com.